What's going on, everybody? I want to talk about specifically a knife that I saw on Instagram. Blade HQ had a post that said this knife was going to be discontinued and they had it on sale. This is the Benchmade 917 Tactical Triage. So it is a black class knife. All right. So tactical, rescue, every day. I fall into the everyday. Not all heroes wear capes, but so this knife was made October 2019, not too long ago, but it was actually released, I believe, at SHOT Show 2018. So it's not a really old model, but Benchmade has a ton of knives, tons of models, and they cycle through them pretty quickly, and they come out with new ones, right? So I've been carrying this knife for over a month every single day. I tell you what, I even carry this thing in my shorts or pajamas walking around the house. I've carried this thing more than enough to do a review on it. Okay, this is my brother-in-law's knife. I believe he got this in a trade, and then he had the blade replaced by Benchmade. So you can tell on this blade, a lot of people notice there's no serrations, which is not extremely common. And there's a lot of unique features about this knife. You could tell it looks like he broke it right there. And I've actually broken blades like this by prying and doing stupid stuff. But that's not the case with this one, right? So this is a blunt tip knife for rescue. If you're around a raft or trying to cut clothes away from an injured person, there's no tip like the tactical knife. That's the difference. Okay, so I would say the 916 is more of a real paramedic firefighter knife. And here is the safety hook. So they both have these. And I'm really impressed with this line from Benchmade. I don't carry multi-tools a lot, but these are definitely multi-tools. They both have the safety hook, or some people just call them a seatbelt cutter. You can also, if somebody had a gunshot wound or broken knee or compound fracture and you needed to get to that, you would be able to put it right into their jeans and slide right down it. It is extremely sharp, and you can feel that as well. I believe you can probably just sharpen these. I've sharpened my hunting knives and stuff with a ceramic rod is what I've used in the past, and it worked fine, and it still gets it razor sharp. So my brother-in-law does want me to do a use review on this knife. He said, use it and abuse it. Don't be afraid to scratch it up or anything. And I may take him up on that if I get time, between work and my 8-month-old son and stuff like that. So I may do that. I really like this knife, I gotta say. I really like it. Like I said, I will be focusing on this one a little bit more just because this is the one I've actually been carrying. So I've been using this in the barn. I've cut rope, packages. I planted some trees the other day, and I had to cut the sides of the buckets open to get the tree out because of the roots and stuff like that. So I've been using the heck out of this knife, and you can't tell at all, really. So let's talk about the dimensions. And again, I'm just focusing on the 917, but they're pretty much the same, as you can tell. So overall length is 8.33 inches closed. So the handle is 4.85. The blade length is 3.48, just staying under that 3.5 inch, which makes it available legally to a lot more people, I guess, is the reason they do that. And it's big enough. I don't think you need a bigger knife, honestly. The handle thickness is 0.55, so it's not a small knife, but you have to remember it's a multi-tool. It's rock solid, too. So the blade thickness, bouncing back there, is 0.124. So here we have CPM S30V, and then on the safety hook, you have a 440C. So it's not just a plain Jane stainless or anything on the safety hook. It's a 440C, which is, it's a good knife steel. So that's pretty cool. This one actually has, hopefully you can see that, it is a N680. I think it's an Austrian steel. And people tout it, that it's very, very corrosion resistant. And as far as blade, the edge retention, I think people compare it to 154 cm or 420, and not a bad steel at all. So pretty cool. So getting back to it, the G10 on both of these knives. So you'll see a G10 that is covering a stainless steel liner on both of these. So the knife is definitely robust, I will say. It does have a polymer insert here. So there's a carbide tip on both of these for getting in or out of windows, right? The knife does have a fair amount of jimping. So the tactical triage that I have, the 917, this is very, very slick, I gotta say. If your hands are wet, greasy, bloody, this is very slick. So this does not enhance the grip much, but it's better than zero. It's better than nothing. I think it's more for aesthetics than anything else. But there is jimping right here on the back. So a slight ramp for your thumb. I like that. There's jimping underneath here. And that choil, that feels good. There's jimping on the back of the knife here underneath. And a little bit of texture here on that polymer insert. So it does feel good in your hand. My hands aren't bloody, wet, or greasy, but it feels really good, and it's not going anywhere because of the contour and the little bit of jimping that's there. So when you put this in and out of your pocket a million times, like I have over the last month or more, it's very smooth and it's not going to eat into your pocket at all. With that being said, some people complained about the 916. You can hear it. It's very, very abrasive, I guess people would say. And when you put this in and out of your pocket a million times, people are worried about it eating their pocket. Over time, their jeans or khakis or whatever you're wearing, and you can take the pocket clip off and you can go over this. You could take the knife apart because you're going to hit a lot of other stuff. The axis lock on both of these, of course. And you can go over it with light sandpaper and clean it up a little bit. And it won't be as abrasive. But I really, really, really love this. I wish the 917 had handles like this, but I know they're trying to make something different. They make it a new model number. I get it. So I believe this one came out in about 2012. This one just came out in 2018, the tactical. So I really like the scales on the 16. They're super grippy, and it's awesome. I like the black on black, which I think he asked for black. And he wanted the plain edge because he's like me. I mean, serrated blades definitely have their purpose, and a partially serrated is even better, probably for a rescue knife, but they're not fun to sharpen. I don't enjoy sharpening them. I know you can, and you can also send them into Benchmade to do as well, but I don't want to do that either. I just want to sharpen my own knives. So one thing you're going to see on this knife that's very unique is that it has opposing bevels. This is the first knife I've ever had that has had opposing bevels. Here's what I mean by that. So here is the spine, right? It's not cutting my finger. This is the spine of the blade. The bevel goes to the very top, right there. Okay, so if there were a point on there, it would go above the point, right? Now if I flip the knife over, it's the exact opposite. So here you see the bevel drop below the point. You see what I'm saying? So it's opposing bevels, and that is to maintain some of the integrity of the blade so you can actually pry with this if need be, right? It's not a pry bar. I think a pry bar you would probably have if you were on a task force or something like that. But in a situation, you could use this as a pry bar, okay? And this opposing bevel still keeps the thickness in the center of the blade, so you would be less likely to break it, right? This edge, you can see that shiny edge, it's hair popping sharp, no doubt about it. This thing is a razor, is not on this side because of that opposing bevel. So it's a one-sided bevel there. Okay? Very awesome knife, I gotta say. Let's actually compare some. So 916, 917. Let's see what else we got. Let's go with a different brand. Kershaw Blur. Spyderco PM2, left-handed, of course. And let's do one more. Let's go back home to Benchmade. Talking about aggressive scales. So here we have G10 over steel again, right? This is the Benchmade Contigo. And this is the 810. And this thing is a bit of a pocket sword. A lot of people complain about the scales on this, and they are aggressive, no doubt about it. There's jimping plus the extra here. So that knife is going absolutely nowhere in your hand, no matter what. If they're, greasy, wet, bloody, whatever. Okay, so this is the 810, and it is a big knife, I gotta say. The handle and everything is just huge. But this knife also does have the carbide breaker. I've seen people use this in reviews, probably abuse it actually, and they've actually broken this piece of metal. I think it's aluminum, I'm not really sure, but it could be steel, stainless steel, but they broke it. So maybe, I'm not sure, maybe the polymer on the end of this knife has a little give instead of shattering. Maybe that's why it's there. I don't know if that's, or if they did it because of weight. I'm really not sure. So that's just a comparison between all the knives. And I gotta say, a lot of Benchmade knives I get, the main problem I have is this axis lock pin right here is coated. I've talked about this in a lot of reviews, and I had the same problem with this knife. So when I open it, opens super smooth, it's great, everybody loves it. And then when I go to pull it back, it literally gets stuck to where I have to pull very, very hard to close the knife, okay? Until the coating on that pin from the axis lock wears off on the edge of the knife right here on that tang. Okay, so once it wears off, then it's pretty smooth. So you can see I've been using this a lot, and it still sticks a little bit. You can hear it. But besides that, blade centering is great. The fit and finish, fantastic. This is one of my favorite Benchmade knives now. I didn't expect that, but I really, really like it and recommend it. And it is being discontinued, so you could still find this. I got this for $135 from Blade HQ. It's normally $235. So I would try to get your hands on a 917 if you can. If you're into knives, and I think you would really appreciate it if you're a first responder. Either of these knives are fantastic, and I think they could really, really help you in your line of duty. So guys, this is a quick review on, you could talk about these all night. Quick review on the 916 and the 917 Triage. Thanks for watching. Have a good night.